I'm Doug Ballinger. I'm Logan's dad, and I want to begin this episode of Logan's Voice by acknowledging something important. I am not a mother, but I am a grieving parent. And today, as Mother's Day approaches this year on Sunday, May 11th, I want to use this platform to speak directly to the mothers who will be carrying both love and loss into that day. This message is not from a place of sympathy, it's from a place of deep respect. Because I've seen the strength it takes for a mother to get out of bed when her child is gone. I've seen the heartbreak in the eyes of moms who have had to live through every person's worst nightmare. I've watched how the world celebrates happy moms while forgetting the ones whose hearts are broken and whose arms are empty. And I've learned something as I've walked this path of grief. Mothers don't stop being mothers when their child dies. They carry their child differently, but they still carry them. If you're one of those mothers, this episode is for you. You may not get flowers this year. You may not hear their voice calling Happy Mother's Day, but I want you to know from one grieving parent to another, you are still their mom. You always will be. And on this Mother's Day, I see you. I honor you. And I want to say what the world too often forgets to say. We love you, and you are not alone. For most people, Mother's Day is filled with smiles, cards, brunches, and sweet pictures of moms with their kids. But for the grieving mother, this day can feel like a spotlight shining on what's missing. It's not just a date on the calendar. It's a reminder of what was and of what will never be again. For some moms, it's their first Mother's Day without their child. For others, it's the 5th or the 15th. But grief doesn't follow a clock or a calendar. Whether it's been weeks or decades, the pain can still hit just as hard. You might find yourself dreading the commercials, the social media posts, the well-meaning Happy Mother's Day wishes from people who don't know your story. You might feel invisible, forgotten, because the world doesn't quite know how to handle a mother who grieves. Some of you are mothers who lost a baby before anyone else even got to meet them. Some of you raised your child for years before addiction, illness, accident, or violence took them. Some of you held their hand until the very last breath. Others never got the chance to say goodbye. And now you're left with a day that used to be joyful, but now feels hollow, or heavy, or both. Some grieving moms want to be surrounded by people who remember their child. Others want to be left alone with their memories. Some might want to visit the cemetery, hold a keepsake, light a candle, or scroll through old photos until the tears run dry. Whatever it looks like for you, it's valid. There's no right way to survive Mother's Day after loss. There is only your way. And I want to say this as clearly as I can. You don't have to smile if you don't feel like smiling. You don't have to go to brunch. You don't have to pretend. If all you do is breathe and get through the day, that's enough. You are enough. Mother's Day isn't about flowers or photo ops. It's about love. And the love you carried didn't end when your child died. That love is alive, burning quietly inside you. And it always will be. I am not a mother. I never pretend to be. But I've spent a lot of time with grieving mothers. Mothers whose children were stolen by fentanyl, by overdose, by trauma, by silence. And what I've seen in those mothers has changed me forever. I meet them every month in our Hope Movement Coalition support meetings. These are moms who show up carrying invisible weight, still some raw from recent loss, others weathered by years of missing their children. And yet, they keep showing up. They speak their child's name, they cry openly, and they hold space for each other in a way that is sacred. There's a strength in that circle that's hard to describe. It's not the kind of strength the world gives medals for. It's the kind of strength born out of surviving the unimaginable and still choosing to love, still choosing to fight for change, still choosing to live. I meet more grieving mothers at Bridge the Gap, our awareness event every year. That day wasn't just about signs and shirts, it was about stories. I stood shoulder to shoulder with women who carried poster boards of their children's faces and told me, "This is my baby. He should be here." I listened as they shared how stigma isolated them, how the system failed them, how they wake up every morning to an ache that never ends. And at our Black Balloon event in Northwest Arkansas, it hit me again. Just how many mothers are grieving silently in our communities. Each one carried a name, a memory, a child, and behind every balloon was a mother with tears in her eyes and a hole in her heart. Those are the mothers I'm thinking about this Mother's Day. These women aren't looking for pity, they're looking for acknowledgement. They're looking for someone to say, "I see you, I know your love didn't end, and I know your pain is real." And let me tell you something, those grieving moms are often the ones leading the charge. They're organizing events, demanding justice, raising awareness, and doing whatever they can so no other parent has to join this awful club. So when I say I admire grieving mothers, I mean that in the deepest way possible. I've learned from you, I've cried with you, and I carry your children's stories with me right alongside Logan's. You've shown me what grace looks like in the middle of agony. You've taught me that a mother never stops being a mother, even when the world forgets her child. And on this Mother's Day, I want every one of you to know I see you, I honor you, and I stand with you. If you're listening to this episode and dreading another Mother's Day, if you feel like the rest of the world is moving on while you're still holding on to memories, please hear me when I say this. You are not alone. You are part of a community now, a community of grieving parents who understand, who don't flinch when you speak your child's name, who don't expect you to be over it just because another holiday is rolled around. I know it can feel isolating. I know the silence can be deafening. Sometimes the people you thought would show up don't. Sometimes the people closest to you are too afraid to bring up your child's name, thinking it will make you sad, when really nothing would mean more than hearing that name out loud. But out here, among people like me and others you've met through Hope Movement Coalition meetings or Bridge the Gap or the Black Balloon event in Northwest Arkansas, you are seen, your child is remembered, and your role as a mother is forever. You're not alone in your tears. You're not the only one who dreads the photos on social media or feels a lump in your throat when you walk past the card aisle. You're not the only one who wonders if anyone else remembers the way your child used to laugh or how they made every day feel different just by being in it. There are thousands of mothers, fathers, siblings, friends carrying this grief. And when we come together, even in a podcast like this, that grief becomes a little lighter. Not gone, but shared. If this is your first Mother's Day without your child, I know how fragile everything feels right now. Every breath feels like a mountain. Just making it through the day might be the bravest thing you do. If it's your 5th or 10th or 20th Mother's Day, I know that doesn't make the pain go away. You may smile more now, you may function better, but the ache, that never really leaves. So let me offer you something. This community, Logan's Voice, and Hope Movement Coalition, our grief support calls, this space right here was created so no grieving parent has to walk alone. You belong here. And whether you're lighting a candle, visiting a grave, posting a tribute, or staying in bed all day with the curtains closed. You are still a mother. You don't need a living child to prove that. Your love, your grief, your memories, those are proof enough. You are part of a sisterhood of strength and sorrow that no one asked to join. But once you're in, you realize you're among warriors. You don't walk this path alone. Not this Mother's Day. Not ever. So as we head into this Mother's Day, I want to offer you something small but powerful, a way to create space for love and grief to sit side by side. Light a candle. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't even have to be long. But sometimes on Mother's Day, whether in the morning before the world wakes up or in the quiet evening hours when the ache sets in, light a candle in honor of your child. As the flame flickers, speak their name. Say it out loud or whisper it or just sit in your heart. Tell them you remember. Tell them you love them. Tell them you always will be their mom. And if you want to go one step further, take a picture of that candle, share it on social media, or text it to another grieving mom who might need to know she's not alone. You never know who might be silently suffering, just waiting for a sign that someone else understands. If you do post it, use the hashtag #StillTheirMom, because you are. You always will be. Sometimes it's the smallest rituals that carry the biggest healing. Sometimes a single flame can light the way for someone else in the dark. So this Mother's Day, when the world may not know what to say to you, let your candle say it all. If you've listened this far, I want to thank you. Not just for being here, but for carrying love through loss day after day. I know this road is hard. I know Mother's Day can reopen wounds that never really healed. But I also know this. You are still their mom. No holiday, no silence, no passage of time can take that away from you. Your child mattered. Your grief matters, and you matter. If no one else says it this weekend, let me say it for them. Happy Mother's Day. Not in the traditional sense, but in the truest one. You are a mother who continues to mother through memory, through advocacy, and through love that never ends. And though I'm a father, not a mother, I want you to know that I see your strength. I've walked beside it at events. I've felt it in our meetings. I've heard it in your stories, your tears, your fierce love that refuses to be silenced. But don't let this day make you feel invisible. You're not. You're part of a sisterhood of mothers, bound not by loss, but by love. And if you ever forget that, you've got this podcast to come back to. And if this episode speaks to your heart, please share it with another grieving mom. Light your candle, say their name. Visit logansvoice.com for links to my podcast series, for links to Logan's Swag Shop, for links to the book, Logan's Story. From my broken heart to yours, thank you for loving your child so fiercely. You are not alone. Until next time, I'm Doug Ballinger. I am Logan's voice. I am Logan's dad, and I will not be silent any longer. And I stand with every mother who grieves.